It's day 3 at the 3rd International Conference on Dengue and Dengue hemorrhagic fever here in Bangkok, where I'm joined in conversation by Dr. Ira Longini from the University of Florida. Doctor, welcome.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure to be here.
Dr. Longini, your talk was on advances in mathematical modeling to support dengue. Could you explain a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, that's a creation of mathematical models for the spread of, in this case, dengue in a large population, such as, say, Ratchaburi, Thailand, or the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. And we construct large-scale models of the entire human population and the movement of that population, and then also the mosquito population. And in the model, we keep track of infected humans and infected mosquitoes, where they go, and the evolution of the epidemic. And we can use these models, once calibrated to a particular site, to evaluate interventions such as vaccination.
And how do you do this evaluation?
Well, once the model is calibrated to the population, we can actually run dengue epidemics, sometimes up to 10 or 20 years, and simulate the natural spread and history of dengue in a particular region. Then we can introduce a hypothetical vaccine or vector control or combinations thereof to evaluate what would be the impact of the vaccination program, not only on vaccinated people, but of the entire population, since there's a lot of indirect or herd protection you can get to even protection of unvaccinated people. Then we can run the model using so-called optimization routines to determine what strategy would minimize the number of deaths or the number of illnesses or the cost of the epidemics, and come up with optimal strategies.
And I believe that this could potentially be particularly beneficial to children?
Yes, especially we found through our investigations that a efficacious tetravalent dengue vaccine would protect children very well, and that they would be a primary target of vaccination. So in every scenario we've run, it's very essential to vaccinate children, especially small children. They're at the highest risk of severe dengue, and they're also important transmitters to mosquitoes and infecting other people.
Why are children at the highest risk?
Well, very young children, less than a year of age, still have maternal antibodies, which puts them at a risk for dengue, hemorrhagic fever, and shock should they get infected. Older children have had usually one infection, and again are at risk of a second infection, which would potentially lead to more severe dengue than somebody who has more immunity, such as a middle-aged adult.
Over the past 3 days, we've spoken to a lot of people, and hundreds of people have come to Bangkok for this big international conference. What are the benefits of having meetings like this, and what are the biggest challenges that, from your point of view, we're still facing in the battle against dengue?
Yeah, the nice thing about these meetings is it brings together lots of people working on dengue. We tend to work on our little silos, isolated from one another. So at a meeting like this, people working on vaccines, people working on vector control, specialists in mathematical modeling and epidemiology, and all aspects of dengue transmission control can come together, exchange information, and very importantly, talk to each other. I think the biggest challenge at this time in controlling dengue, which is a greatly expanding global epidemic. It's the most rapidly expanding vector-borne disease on the planet. The biggest challenge is to develop an efficacious vaccine that would be effective, at least against preventing severe dengue illness. We know through the years that vector control has had only very marginal or moderate success, and it's very difficult to control dengue through vector control alone. But with the addition of a vaccine, we would be able to raise the immunity in the population so that vector control could work be much more efficacious.
Dr. Longini, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you.